Amen. Let's have our seats. Let's have our seats. So this morning we'll be having an interesting topic that we'll be handling titled Effect of Drugs and Alcohol on Individual, Family, and the Society. Effect of what? Drugs and alcohol on the individual, family, and what? And the society. So let's sit quietly as we hear from them.
Good morning, children. Good morning, children. Oh, it's afternoon already. Good afternoon, children. Good afternoon, children. Do we have children of God here this afternoon? Are you sure? Are you happy to be here this afternoon? Okay, if you are happy to be here, please, I need you to give me your attention. I need you to do what? Give me your attention. And I'm very sure by the end of this presentation, everyone will learn at least one thing. On behalf of the State Commander of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Commander of Narcotics, Abubakar Liman Wali, I'm here this morning together with my colleagues, the team, and we bring greetings to you from the Chairman, Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, in person of Brigadier General Buba Marua, CONOFR. So this morning, as the topic has been introduced, okay. Okay. The name of our Chairman, Chief Executive of Ndlea is Brigadier General. Can you say it after me? Brigadier General Buba Marua. Brigadier General Buba Marua. So that is the name of our the Chairman, Chief Executive of Ndlea. Have you gotten that? Have you gotten that? I'm hearing no, I'm hearing yes. If you've gotten that, raise up your hand. Okay, I will repeat it for the last time. The name of our chairman chief executive is Brigadier General Buba Marua. So this morning, the topic that we are going to be considering is drugs and alcohol. The effects on individual, family, and the society. Can we say it together? Okay. So that is the topic we are going to be considering this morning. And I need everybody to be silent, because if you are not silent, you will not be able to get what you are supposed to get this morning. In the scripture, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 16, verse 25, that there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. Can you complete it? Can you complete it? What is the end thereof? What is the end thereof? There are many habits that seems good to you, to the people around you. Probably because a lot of your friends, a lot of your brothers, your sisters, and even your elderly ones are doing them. I have a few questions for you this morning. And I will want maybe 2 or 3 children to answer those questions. If your friend is getting his fingers burnt in fire and he calls you to come and join him, will you join him? Will you join him? Okay, that's good. If your elderly ones are running towards a deep, uncovered soakaway, how many of us know the meaning of soakaway? That's good. So if you have an elderly person that is running towards a soakaway and you are called to join such person, what will you do? You said, I need somebody.
I will run away or I will say no.
You will run away or say no. A round of applause for this beautiful girl. And would you do something that will truncate your great vision? I believe this morning we have leaders of tomorrow here. We have medical doctors in the making. Am I right? We have great lawyers here this morning. Am I right? And we have our future president, our future governors in this auditorium this morning. Am I right? Would you do anything to stop you from getting to your vision and your ambition? Now, let's go. What is the meaning of drug? I need somebody to read for me. Someone from this side. What is the meaning of drugs? The meaning of drugs.
Drugs are substances we take into our body to make us feel better.
To make you feel better. A round of applause for him. You try. Okay.
Drug is a substance we take into our body which causes physical or mentally change in the body.
I like that definition. Which causes physical or mental changes in your body. Okay, because of my time, let me quickly break down the meaning of drug. Somebody said drug is any substance that when you take into your body system, it affects the way your body behaves. Now, there are several examples of drug. When you are having headache, what will you do? You take paracetamol. What is paracetamol? It is a drug. Okay? Now, the drug that we are going to be discussing this morning, I'm not going to talk about paracetamol. I'm not going to talk about the one that when you're having stomach ache, you take. But the drug I'm going to talk this morning is the one that when you take it, it is going to affect your body system in a negative way, in a negative manner. And let me quickly define prescription drugs and psychoactive drugs for you. There are some medicines that when you go to a medical doctor, they are going to tell you, oh, because of what you are passing through, you need to take this medicine. They will write it for you on a note. They will tell you, go to the pharmacy, go and get this drug. Those are what we call the prescription drugs. For example, when you are having pain all over your body, they will give you a prescription for a painkiller. Are we together? Are we together? Also, we have another drug that we call psychoactive substances, psychoactive drugs. And they affect the way you think, the way you feel, and also they affect the way you behave. There are sometimes when some people take some drugs, their behavior, the way they behave will change automatically. Have you experienced it before? That when somebody takes a drug, the way that person will be behaving will be different. Now, do we have JSS students here? Okay, let me throw this question. What is the meaning of central nervous system? Central nervous system. There is a boy here. The meaning of central nervous system.
Central nervous system is located in the part of your body, in your brain. It affects the way you behave. Like it's connected to your entire body. So if anything happens to it, it also affects your entire body also.
Okay. There is another boy there.
Central nervous system. This is like tubes that are connected to the brain that control reaction of the body.
Okay. A round of applause for the two of them. Shortly, the meaning of central nervous system is a connection between your brain. It consists of the brain and the spinal cord. How stimuli is being transferred from your brain to the spinal cord. And without a spinal cord, I don't think any human being can function effectively. And these psychoactive drugs that we are talking about has effect on the central nervous system. That is, it affects the way your brain functions. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse is the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive drugs, psychoactive substances. And what are these psychoactive substances? They include alcohol and illicit drugs. There are some drugs that are licit. They are legal, such as paracetamol. You can use it normally. Nobody is going to arrest you for having paracetamol, for having some painkillers with you. But there are some drugs that when you have it in your possession, you might be arrested. We call them illicit drugs. We call them illicit substances. They are illegal. Now, drug abuse occurs when the use of drug is not medically necessary. When you are having an headache, the doctor may prescribe, oh, maybe because of your age, you have to take maybe a dose, 1 tablet of paracetamol. But you think because of your headache, you need to use 2 tablets, or you need to use 3 tablets so that your headache will relieve you on time. You are already abusing that drug. When the use of drug is not medically necessary. Number 2, when the use is legally prohibited. That is the second circumstances for drug abuse. And the third one is the excessive use of socially acceptable drug, which includes alcohol that we are talking about this morning. Now, we have different classifications of drug. This morning, I'm going to be talking on classification according to the way they affect the functionality of your brain. And we have 3 major classes. Number 1, we have the depressant. What do I call it? Depressant. What do I call it? Depressant. And how does this depressant function? This depressant slow down your central nervous system. The meaning of that CNS is what? Central nervous system. That is, when you take this kind of drug, your brain will slow down. The way your brain is working will become slower. And the second class is the stimulants. The second class is the stimulant. And this one increases the functionality of your central nervous system. That is, it makes your brain to overwork. It overworks your brain. And the third class is the hallucinogen. What do I call it? The hallucinogens. And these ones, it distorts your central nervous system. Who can tell me the meaning of distort? Distort. I need somebody from this side. Distort. That means that the people at this side, they are not following us. What is the meaning of distort? Anybody? Okay, there is a get there. The meaning of distort, hallucinogens.
Thought is to stop the proper functioning of the central nervous system.
That's good. To stop the proper functioning of the central nervous system. That means that it will disorganize everything. Some of you would have seen some youths that they are on the road and they will be doing like this. Have you seen them before? That person is not in the right frame of mind. The brain of that person is not functioning effectively. Now, I want to tell you about the drug situation in Nigeria. Please, I need you to be attentive. I've told you the classes of drugs. We have the depressants, we have the stimulants, and we have the third one, which is what? The hallucinogens. Now, in Nigeria, in 2018, there was a research that we carried out, and we discovered that if you gathered 7 people together, 1 out of those 7 people have used a drug in the last 1 year. That means that if I should count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 out of those 7 have taken drug in the last 1 year. That means if we have 70 people, how many people have taken drug? I can't hear you. 10 people. And 1 out of every 4 drug user is a woman. And also in Nigeria, this one will shock you. Do you know the population of people in Nigeria? What is the current population of people in Nigeria? Who wants to answer me? Okay.
258 million.
258 million. That should be the projected estimate. That is the projected estimate. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people. But as at 2018, we discovered that 14.3 million people have used drug in Nigeria. Do you know the meaning of 14.3 million people? 14,300,000 people have used drug in the last 1 year. Now, youth and even children are increasingly involved. Some children will be saying, children are not using drugs. So I'm going to show you at least one video this morning that will tell you that children nowadays are using drugs. But if you keep on making noise, I'm not going to show you the video. So are you going to keep quiet? Are you going to keep quiet? Okay. Let's see the video. Can you all see it on the screen? Can you all see it on the screen? How old is this boy? What is he doing? What is he doing? So this is the reason why you children, you need to be attentive this morning to what I'm going to tell you about drug. You see this young boy? This boy should be around between 3 and 5 years of age, if I'm right. He's smoking. 2 to 3. Sorry, I'm a young man. Look at this boy also. This is the situation we find ourselves in this country. How old is that boy? 5, 6, 7. What is he doing? What is he doing? Drinking alcohol. Okay. Now, what are the factors that are responsible for drug abuse? I've just shown you 2 videos of young boys that are using drugs. What are the factors? 1, faulty upbringing. There are some children that their parents do not bring them up in a right way. In a family where the father is smoking, the mother, like the video we just watched, the mother also drinks alcohol. What do you expect from such a child? The boy or the children will be doing what? We also end up doing drugs, using substances. Another factor responsible for drug abuse is bad role models among teachers. There are some instances that teachers, in the presence of some students, use substances. They smoke cigarettes, they smoke some other substances. Because of your age range, that is the reason why I will not be mentioning the names of drugs. I know some of you, you know the names of some drugs, but I will not mention any of those drugs for you this morning. Another factor is peer pressure. When some youths see some of their colleagues, their friends, smoking, drinking alcohol, and they will be telling them, oh, Samuel, you are not that active. Why don't you come and join us? And because they want to feel among, they want to join them. They want their friends to know that they are actually active, they are actually human beings. They will also go to taste these substances. Another factor is availability of drugs. We have some areas in Lagos that we have some of these substances in abundance. Children living around Mushin in Lagos are living in an environment where these substances are available. So before you know it, children that live in this environment tend to go into substance use. The last factor that I will be discussing is self-medication. After you've come back from school, you had a very hectic day at school because of the exercise. Maybe you went for sporting activities coupled with your readings and the likes. And you are now tired. Oh, mommy, I'm tired though. I cannot do anything now. But maybe your mom went out and you have access to the paracetamol that is in the house. Instead of you to go and take a shower and to go and rest, you now decide, oh, let me take this drug. Because the last time you have headache, mommy gave it to you. You now take it. That is self-medication. Because the drug that you are using, no doctor has prescribed it unto you. That is another factor responsible for drug use. If you remember, I mentioned availability of drug. But please look at this diagram very well. Look at this diagram very well. Can you see it? Can you all see it? Are we together, children? Are we together? Now, on the left-hand side, we have a susceptible individual, a child that is growing in an environment like Mushin that I just mentioned to you, that have these substances, that have this drug in abundance. Such child may actually end up in 3 different stages. Number 1, the child may end up going deeply into drug. That is what we call dependence. That is, the person cannot do without drugs. Before the person can eat, he needs to take drug. Before the person can sleep, he needs to smoke. That is dependence. And the second part is intermittent use. That is, the person can smoke or use drug once in a while. Then the last one, which I want you to be, no matter the environment that you are living in, whether you have these substances available or not, you should know how to grow in that environment without going into drug. And that's the last one, no use. Now, look at this diagram. How many of you have seen a pack of cigarettes before? And on that pack of cigarettes, put your hands down. They write something there. The Federal Ministry of Health says what? I can't hear you. Smokers are liable to die young. That is the warning that the federal government has given to all smokers. And if you look at the diagram on the left-hand side, you will see a diagram of two lungs. I'm going to show you later on. Also, what do you have on this screen? That is alcohol. On that first bottle, can you read what you have there? Alcohol causes liver cancer. How many of you want to have cancer? Raise up your hand. You want to have cancer? Raise up your hand. Okay. If you do not want to have cancer, please and please, I'm begging you this morning, don't go into using alcohol. Okay, what are the effects? The effect of this alcohol, the effect of this drug. We have physical effects. These drugs cause damages to your body organs. It causes damages to your body organs, such as the brain, such as the heart, the liver, the kidney, and the lung. Have you ever seen anybody smoking before? When they smoke that cigarette or whatever thing that they are smoking, they used to release something. What is that thing? Smoke. What is the difference between that smoke and the smoke that comes out when your mom is cooking with wood or charcoal? Is there any difference? When your mom gets a new pot, and she has used it for about 2 months, what happens to the back of that pot? You said it turns black. Now imagine somebody that is smoking for several months. As he's smoking, that smoke is going where? Outside or inside? So what happened to the internal organs? So the internal organs will be what? Will be affected. Then also we have impaired judgment and memory. When you see some youth nowadays, they cannot differentiate between a grand and a pit. They cannot differentiate between them. When you see them walking on a ground like this, they'll be like jumping because they are not seeing a ground. They are seeing a gutter. They cannot judge. They cannot see clearly again. Also, the end result of this drug use is premature death. And I'm very sure that no one here wants to die prematurely. Or is there anyone that wants to die prematurely? Raise up your hand. Okay. Now, let me quickly move straight to the psychological effect. I can hear some people making noise. If you are making noise, I'm not going to show you the other pictures that I have for you. So please, be attentive. The psychological effect. Some people, after they have taken some of these substances, after they have taken their alcohol, you will see them. They will not be able to sleep. They will not be able to sleep. Some people, they will be having depression. They will not want to associate, to relate with their friends. Look beside you. Somebody is sleeping beside you. Tell that person, don't sleep. The person is not hearing you. Tap that person. Don't sleep. If you are sleeping, you will miss a lot. Okay. Now, the physical effect affects that individual that is using substances. Now, how does these drugs affect the society? How does these drugs affect the family? Now, the first one, communal or violence, communal crisis. You would have had a lot of problems going here and there in Nigeria. When you go to some bus stops, even in this Lagos, you will see some area boys fighting over little things. Do you think they are fighting is because of their normal reasoning? They are fighting all because they have taken one substance or the other. Whether they have smoked, something that they can easily overlook, that they can easily forgo, they will not agree. They will fight. And when they fight, they will end up injuring one another. Some people might even kill each other. Okay, the second one is family disintegration. So many families that have separated today is as a result of drug use and abuse. The mother has been waiting since morning. The father is outside in the bar drinking beers. The father came in around 12 o'clock while the mother is waiting. The wife is waiting at the sitting room. Oh, darling, where are you coming from? Before you know it, they will end up doing what? Fighting. They will end up fighting. All because of what? Drugs. All because of drugs. There are several instances where some drunk parents have actually wounded their children. And there is an example I read about some times ago. It happened here in Lagos State of a young boy that killed his father. How did this happen? The young boy has smoked a drug, just 4 wraps of that drug. So after he has smoked that drug, the boy, after that boy has been arrested for killing his father, that's when he was revealing this. He said after he has smoked that drug, he was hearing a voice that picked the knife. He picked the knife, go inside, where the father was sleeping. He went inside, stabbed him. If that boy, that young man, is in his right senses, will he follow that voice? What should he have done? He should not have hearkened to the voice. But no, because the boy is under the influence of that substance, of that drug, he obeyed the voice, stabbed his father many times until the father died.
Amen.
So it causes family disintegration. Also, low performance in class. Low performances in class. A brilliant boy that goes into smoking, into drinking of alcohol, will later turn out to become a dullard. Because when it is time for such students to read this book, he will not read. Then it causes accidents at workplace, at home, and on the road. When you see some drivers on the road, they are not the one driving, no. It is the drug that they have taken that is driving. When they see big pothole, When the passengers are seeing potholes, the driver is seeing a good express. That is when you will see that driver, he will increase the speed of the vehicle. And before you know it, what will happen? Accident. And they will say, oh, it is the witches and wizards in their family house. Is it true? Many mad people that we are seeing on the road today, it's not the witches and wizards at their home. Oh. It is because of what they use their hand to eat. Look at that picture. How many of you want your teeth to be like this? Or you want to marry somebody that has a teeth like this? What about this? You want your fingers to be like this? Raise up your hand, please. This is what happens to anyone that smokes. Now, look at this woman. The first picture, you can see that the woman is very beautiful. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? But look at the second picture. Is it the same woman? Is it the same woman? Yes, no. It is the same woman. After 3 years and 5 months that the woman went into substance use and abuse. That is what drugs and alcohol can do to somebody. Please, media, can you help us to mute this sound? Now look at this video. How many of you want to live like this? If you want to live like this, raise up your hand. See, is that the way to walk? Is that the way to walk? A normal person walks forward, is moving backward. See. Are they in their right senses? See this boy, white on white, put on white. White dress in the gutter. That is what happened when a young child or a young man goes into substance use and abuse. Look at him. Look what is going to happen to him. Look at the professor. He cannot control himself again. This one has just finished drinking. Look at him. He fell inside what? Inside the bridge. What will happen to him? What will happen to his head? This one is calculating, doing mathematics. Go, let's check. Yeah. Hello, children. Hello, children. Hello, children. So what do you think will happen to this set of people that fell down? What will happen to their brain? Won't they sustain injuries? They will even have broken bones. Can you listen? Should I go? Should I go? Okay, if you don't want me to go yet, please keep quiet. Hello, children. Hello, children. Can you do what this guy has just done? Why? Eh? It's painful. Please, I want this girl to speak. He's with him.
Because I'm in my right senses.
You are in your right senses. So are you telling me that this boy is not in his right senses? Is that true? This is what happens to anybody that takes drugs. You will not be in your right senses. You can't be in your right senses because the drug that you take will affect the way you think. And finally, let's look at this. This is the best swimming pool ever. The best swimming pool. Can you swim in this kind of swimming pool? Why? Eh? It's dirty. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a drunkard falling into a gutter before? Yes or no? Is it that the drunkard cannot differentiate between a gutter and a clean water? So finally, you have seen the effects of drugs and alcohol. The effects on the individual that is taking the substances. The effects on the family. How drugs can scatter homes. Did I forget to tell you that the issue of banditry, the kidnappings that we are having in this country, cannot be far-fetched from the influence of alcohol and drugs? Because a normal human being cannot pick up a gun, enter the middle of the road, stop a vehicle with the gun, and shoot at human being. But they do that kind of thing under the influence of drugs. So you have seen, you've understood the consequences, the effects of drug on the individual, on the family, and even on the society at large. Should I tell you that even these drugs and alcohol even affect us as a church? Did you know? Did you know how? Should I tell you? There are so many people today, so many families. They are on the mountaintop praying for deliverance for a relative that is having mental issues. Some of this family, some of these parents will go to the pastor. Pastor, please help me pray for my child. He's having this problem. He's having this problem. Meanwhile, the pastor will pray. But unless that child stops taking those substances, the deliverance cannot be perfect. So the pastor, the prayer warriors in the church, we keep praying in vain because of what? These drugs. About 10 years ago, some people used to say, when you see people on the road that they are mad, it's because they are doing them from home. It is no longer the same today. It is as a result of substance use. So as children today, I want to give you just 5 skills. If you have not gotten anything at all, please understand this. Number 1, be assertive when saying no. Be assertive when saying no. When you are growing up, you may see some of your friends that are using substances that are smoking. They will tell you, oh, Damola, come and join us. Favor, come and join us. You tell them no. And when you tell them no, be firm. Stand on your no. Let your no be what? Be no. The number 1 thing is what? Be assertive. Then number 2 is be brave. To know the difference and also be brave to choose between good and bad friends. There is one adage that says, show me your friend. I can't hear you. Show me your friends. There are good and there are bad friends. So if you are not brave to work with the good friends, you may be influenced. Can you tell it to your neighbor? I will not be influenced by bad friends. Someone is not speaking. No, I will not be influenced by bad friends. Then number 3, be contented with what you have or what you are given. Some of you, your parents can afford to give you 200 naira as your pocket money. But when you get to school, you see a friend carrying a bottle of Coke. You see your friend carrying a bottle of Coke. But because your 200 naira that your parents gave to you cannot afford you a Coke. Ah, my friend, let me taste this Coke. Children, if you do that, you may regret doing it. Because nowadays, they mix a lot of things inside drinks. When your friends are celebrating birthdays and they bring cakes from nowhere, please don't eat it. We've had series of reports of people baking a lot of things with cakes. With cakes. So the little things that God has given to you, that your parent has provided for you, please be contented with it. and everyone, maybe your people, all your council, all your different teachers, go and tell them, sir, mommy, daddy, I notice I can do you. But if you keep quiet, that person will die the long run. And if you be like anything else, you are in the best position, help that person. So when we see such thing, always in the past. Then the last thing, when you notice some people that are in police, God encourage them, speak to professional help. Not only your police, your friends. Even when you see elderly ones, some of them don't know what to do. Tell them, go and seek professional help.
That's all.
Professional help. We have counselors, we have professional help.
I don't think it will
We have education centers. And that that if you are caught with any of these legal substances, you might be arrested. And when you are arrested, you will be prosecuted. When you are prosecuted, you might be sent to jail. How many of you want to go to jail? If you want to go to jail, raise up your hand. You don't know the meaning of jail. How many of you want to go to prison? I know that no one here wants to go to prison. So, my dear children, I will tell you and advise you that drug ends all dream. That is an acronym for DEAD. D-E-A-D. D-E-A-D. Drug ends all dreams. So, before we close this presentation, my colleague has something to tell you, a very beautiful song to teach you. Thank you very much. You are welcome, Officer Folake.
Please, I want you to clap. I hope all of us enjoyed this lecture because in some parts, this part are clapping and this part are not clapping. Okay, let's stand to our feet. Let's stand to our feet. I want to teach you one song. Are we tired? Oh yeah, just give me like 5 minutes. I'll be done, please. Oh yeah, stand to our feet, everybody. Okay, so you repeat after me. I am special. I can't hear you. I am special. Special me. I will never do drugs. Special me. Oh yeah, let's go. 1, 2. I am special. Let's go. Let's go. I will never do drugs. I will never do drugs. Special me. Special me. I am perfect. I am perfect. Perfect me. I will never do drugs. Perfect me. Oh yeah, let's go. I am perfect. I am perfect. Perfect me. Perfect me. I will never do drugs. I will never do drugs. Perfect me. Perfect. Clap for yourself. Do we have questions? You have questions? Okay.
They said that smoking is an illegal drug. Then why is it that NDLEA they don't stop the bringing of smoking into
What smoking are you talking about? Are you talking about the normal cigarettes or you're talking about the cannabis?
the normal cigarette?
The normal cigarette, okay. You don't know the difference. Okay. Okay. Smoke general. Okay. Can we sit down? So sorry. Please sit down like queens and kings that you are.
Ma, you said that if we see an elderly person that is smoking,
Yes.
that we should approach him and tell him that what he or she is doing is not good.
Yes.
But I've seen a lot of people that when they smoke and drink, it's not that they don't know what they are doing. They know what they are doing, but they just don't want to follow the right way.
Okay.
And sometimes, if you tell them that what they do is not good, they tend to become aggressive.
Okay.
So, in that situation, please, what are we supposed to do?
Okay, thank you. You have a question?
Ma, they are telling us to stop taking drugs. Why can't they stop the company that make drugs and alcohol?
Okay. Any question? Okay, hold on, one after the other.
Why can't the NDLEA ban drug from Nigeria? What is the remedy of drug abuse? Ma, they said that all do not take any abuse drug. But people that are taking abuse drug and they will go to the hospital and the doctor will not tell them to write it. You do good.
You get the question. Said some people tell them that they are sick and they go to the hospital and the doctor will say them like take with their drugs. You understand? Okay, the last question, please. The last question. Sorry, hold on.
Ma, if someone is a drug addict, how I like now, I want to stop someone from taking drug. I've been taking drug for 3 years now. I want to stop him from taking drug. How am I going to stop him? What are the procedures?
Thank you all. Okay. Want to ask the questions?
Why do people sell cigarettes and why do people buy them? People sell cigarettes and people buy them.
Why do that, right?
My question, when you were giving the lecture, you talked about firewood smoke and the smoke from cigarettes. Is there any effect of the smoke from the firewood in our system? Do you get the question? Because most of our mothers, our grandmothers, they cook with firewood on daily basis. So I want to know if there is a negative effect of the smoke in their system, like that of the cigarette in the system. Thank you.
Ma, why did people produce the drugs? Why did they produce those harmful drugs?
I want to ask, some of the drugs we do use, they say some of them have side effects, even as you reminded to us. Where each time I read this leaflet you used to put inside the drugs, I began to think, why do these makers put all these ones? When you are forming these drugs, you really put it. Why? Side effect of the drugs. Is it not the thing that are making these people affecting the people that their brain is? Is there no any way they can stop it? God bless. Thank you. You understand what I side effect?
Hello, children. Wow. I so much like the way you pour out to answer question. It is a sign that you listened all through the lecture. A round of applause for yourself. If you are not clapping, that shows that you are sleeping. It's okay. Thank you. It's okay. Okay. I know that many other children still have one or two questions to ask. But I'm very confident that if we should try and answer the few ones that you are able to ask now, some of your questions will be addressed. The first question and some other ones that are related, I'm going to match them together. When the federal government knows that smoking is injurious to our health, why do they keep allowing the producers to produce it? If you remember very well, the first, during my introduction, I asked some series of questions that if you have a friend that is putting his hands inside what? Inside fire, will you join that person? Now, I will answer it in different perspective. The federal government allows them to produce it. Okay, before I will go into that, I told you that we have legal drugs and we have illegal drugs. Did you remember? Okay. Now, and I mentioned legal drugs are drugs that you can easily access. There is no law stopping you from getting them. But illegal drugs, the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has stopped everyone to carry those drugs, to use those drugs without a prescription. Now, we have socially acceptable drugs, and under the socially acceptable drugs, that is where alcohol, tobacco, cigarette falls into. And what do I mean by socially acceptable drugs? The federal government of Nigeria, our legal arm, has sat down and agreed that out of all these drugs, let's allow this one to be used. That is the meaning of socially acceptable drugs, irrespective of their side effects. And that is where when you go to parties, you see them serving alcohol. I'm coming to that, mommy. You see them serving it freely. Nobody is going to arrest them for doing that because the law of this country has allowed them, permitted them to do what? Permitted people to use it. But under a strict warning by the Federal Ministry of Health that, okay, we've allowed you people to produce this substance. But on top of your pack, you must campaign against what you are using. I know of a time that what we only have is Federal Ministry of Health wants that smokers are liable to die young. That's all. But at a point when the government realizes that people that smokes are increasing day by day, they now come up with another regulation that, okay, on that your pack, there should be a diagram of the side effects of what this, your cigarette, is causing to people. leaving the choices to the citizens. They have told you, if you smoke this cigarette, you might die. So if you want to die, remove your money, go to where they are buying and buy. Then you will die. But what some people are saying is that ever since some people have been buying it, they have not died. But you don't know the day that their life is going to expire. Because the way God has created each and every one of us, it is different. There are some people that they can drink a carton of beer and it will not affect them. Meanwhile, some people cannot drink a glass. They will be intoxicated. Likewise, on the bottle of beer, they said, drink what? Responsibly. And another thing is, not for people under what? The federal government has made themselves clear. And the reason why they allow the production of all these things is because despite the warnings, people will buy. And the more people are buying, the more the companies producing will generate revenue for the government through tax. So the government cannot actually ban the production. But the ball is in your court. If you want to die young, go and buy. And there are some researches that says that out of all the drugs, the most difficult one that has effect is alcohol. Yet, it is socially acceptable. And out of all drugs, the most addictive one, what do I mean by addictive? The one that if you've started it, you cannot stop it unless God intervenes, is cigarette, tobacco. Yet, it is socially acceptable. So I think that's my answer as taking care of so many questions. And one of our mother asked a question about the smoke from tobacco, cigarette, and the likes. Okay, my colleague will answer that. Is there any other question that I've not? Is there any other question? Okay, my colleague will address other ones.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, I'm here to answer the question about the smoke from the firewood we use in cooking. In as much as we are here to talk about drug abuse, I think it's okay to still respond to that. So World Health Organization, that's WHO, has actually done a research on this, and from the research, it said that one of the leading cause of death after malaria and HIV/AIDS is actually, that's in Nigeria, is actually those coming from the kitchen, the smoke from the kitchen, that's while using firewood. Because one of the components of that smoke is carbon monoxide, amongst many other things too that it contains. So I don't know why cooking with firewood, sometimes you would observe like some eye irritation from the smoke. It's called conjunctivitis. Your eyes will get irritated. So another thing it could cause is, cataract. It could cause cataract, which can lead to partial or permanent blindness. Also respiratory diseases called chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It could cause that also. Like there are a number of things the smoke from that firewood could cause. So it's almost as bad as smoking. Yeah, thank you. Any other question?
Yes.
My question is, as an agency, What are you people doing concerning children that are under 18 drinking alcohol? In advanced country, if a child want to buy drug, maybe alcohol, they can't sell for you. But in Nigeria, it is rampant. What is your company, your organization doing in order to curtail that? That is number one. Another one is also smoking in an open space. In other countries, you don't smoke. They used to have smoking room where people smoke. But in Nigeria, it is everywhere. People smoke. Anyhow. So as enforcement agency, what is your agency doing about curtailing that? Because it's also affecting our children because they see it as a normal thing. And if there is restriction on the way and where people smoke, it will also create a kind of impact and fear in their mindset.
My question is that the people that are producing it and people that are selling the cigarette, did they know that cigarette is harmful? Why does people smoke and children smoke?
My question is, does secondhand inhalation of tobacco smoke cause cancer? Does secondhand inhalation of tobacco smoke cause cancer?
Secondhand inhalation. You are smoking and inhaling. Does it cause cancer?
They said we have primary smokers and secondary smokers, and smoke affects secondary smokers than primary smokers. How? And who are primary and secondary smokers?
Why is it that if you smoke, your eyes will be red?
Does the people that work in smoking, the people that make cigarettes, do they allow them to smoke it?
Let's move this way.
Sir, please, you said that those who smoke or drink may be intoxicated. Please, sir, can you please help us to explain the meaning of intoxicated?
When people know that smoking is not good, why are they still producing it?
Thank you, ma. I believe this is the last set of questions. So if there is any other question, please send it to the head of the children ministry. They will get it across to us and we will definitely answer them. I've never been to a cigarette producing factory before, so I wouldn't know whether the producers are smoking or not. But the truth is, they might be smoking it. And people that are smoking are very much aware that smoking is harmful to their health. But because of the addictive nature of what they are smoking, some of them, they cannot stop the habits. And that is the reason why we always tell people that it is better not to start it than to try to look for a way to stop it. Then, time did not permit me to talk about the signs and the symptoms of drug abuse. We have the physical signs, changes in eyesight, that's redness in your eyes, and a lot of things. Naturally, there are some people that they have red eyes. They don't smoke, but ordinarily, their eyes are always red. But redness of the eyes is a sign, a possible sign of drug use. And someone asked a question about primary and secondary smokers. Well, we also call them active and passive smokers. If I am the one smoking cigarettes, I am the primary smoker or the active smoker. So the person sitting next to me is the passive or the secondary smoker. And you will be shocked that that smoke affects the passive smoker as well as it affects the primary smoker, because the smoker inhales a certain amount of that smoke and exhales almost the same amount. Most of them, after they have inhaled it, what will they do? They will puff it out. And before you know it, people that are within that environment, there was a time when I was very young. I have not even think that I will join this agency, Ndlea. When some people start smoking in our environment, some elderly ones will be complaining of severe headache. They are not close to where they are smoking it, but let's assume they are smoking it outside. But mere smelling the smoke alone, they will be having headache. So it affects them. I mean, it affects the secondary smokers also. This last question, I think I've forgotten it. The last question. Okay, sir, about your question, what is Ndlea doing as regards underage drinking, underage smoking? I need to bring out this point. We have some agencies, some government agencies that are in charge of drug regulations in Nigeria. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, our own agency, is one. And we have another one that is NAFDAC. The difference between NAFDAC and Ndlea is that NAFDAC deals with the regulation of legal drugs. They are the one that gives licenses. So NAFDAC gives licenses to all these pharmacists that produces drugs and the likes. They give NAFDAC numbers to those that are producing drugs and food. So they regulate legal drugs. But Ndlea, we are in charge of anything that has to do with illegal. And recently, there is a policy that was implemented that the production of all these sachets alcohol should be banned. That is not from Ndlea. We work together, but it is not from Ndlea. It is from our sister agency, NAFDAC. And that is in a bid to control the access of this alcohol to underage people. Do you know that it has gotten to a stage that with 50 naira, 100 naira, anybody can get access to this drug? But with that policy in place, it will be impossible, almost impossible, for children underage to get this drug. But Nigeria, my country, do you know what that policy has brought up? We have our labor unions campaigning against the policy, all because of the job creations that the production is bringing to the country. But if we should think about it very well, if the production of all those sachet drugs produces employment for people at the expense of our future youth, of our future children, which one should we go about? Should we keep producing it at the expense of our future? So when it comes to regulating some drugs policy, we need our people to also support law enforcement agencies. There has been so many times when we go out as Ndlea for raid operations, sometimes we get mobbed. our officers get mobbed. At patrol points, some of our officers get gunned down almost every month because we are enforcing some of these laws. We are not tired because we know that that is what we were employed for. But we need the masses also to also know what they can do. And I talked about the socially acceptable drugs the other time. We don't make the laws. Our legislative arm make the law. Our only job is to do what? To enforce it. It is what they give to us to enforce. That is the only thing that we can enforce. If today there is a bill turned into law that prohibits the use of tobacco, believe me, we will enforce it immediately. But we can't make it. We know that it is injurious to people's health, but we cannot make the law. So as the masses, as the citizens of this country, we need to know the set of people that we also give our mandate to represent us at those upper chambers. When you give your mandate to somebody that cannot actually represent us well, it is what they legislate for us that we are going to implement. And our young ones, our upcoming generations, will be at the receiving end. There was a time that they were trying to legalize a drug in this country. But thank God for the set of legislators that we have. They stood against it. Fine. Other countries have legislated it. They have allowed it. They've passed it into law. But they stood their ground. No, it's not going to be in our own generation. But lo and behold, if we have a set of legislators in the next coming years that they agree, they consent to legalizing such drug, you will see what will happen in this country. So I hope I've answered your question, sir. So thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you much, sir, for the presentation. Thank you, all the officials from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Thank you for coming. While the lecture was going on, we are privileged that our conference president walked into the auditorium, and I want him to come to say thanks to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for honoring our invitation to be here today.
Yeah. Good afternoon, officers. Children. Okay, let's hold it there. Thank you for responding promptly. On behalf of the church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Lagos Mainland Conference with headquarters here in Ogba, we appreciate you for coming and for giving this lecture to our young ones, because we believe we can catch them young so that as they grow, they will know how injurious drugs can be, and even to their health and the health of the society. Thank you for making our time to come. The Lord, whom you have honored by taking care of these children by these few words, will surely honor you. And I want you to extend our greetings to the commandant, to the state commandants. And we also believe that we'll make more collaborations with you, because these are the kids at this level. We also have the young adults. And whenever we have programs with them, we will also invite you. We hope we will in future make or have a more collaborative arrangement to work with you. Thank you very much for coming. And may the Almighty God bless you and keep you and watch over you. And then also promote you in your duties in Jesus' name. Amen.
children to come and join. Yes, to come and join. How many again?
Or should we move this?
Huh?
Should we move this?
Can we move it?
Be careful, don't eat the edge of this table so you don't have to injure yourself, please. Be very careful. That's why my hand is there. Be careful, please. It's okay, please. You can all go back to your seats. The ones that are not here, please. Thank you. Go back to your chairs. Go back. Go back. It's not. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see my